Y'all know what time it is. Y'all don't know, y'all better ask somebody. Hat on, suit on, looking like a dapper dog, giving them all dressed like $1,000,000, diamond things in its cuffs. Y'all tell me who could it be but Steve Harvey? Oh yeah, everybody out there listening to me. Put your hands together for Steve Harvey. Put your hands together. Steve Harvey win. Oh, listen, Steve Harvey, why don't you join me? Yeah. Steve Harvey, get 'em on, y'all. Better give me some eggs while I listen to Steve Harvey. Yeah, won't you join in with me? If you're with me, help me say, turn your radio on. You gotta turn it on, yeah. Turn it on. Steve Harvey in the morning, y'all. You know y'all can hear me on. Turn it up. Steve Harvey in the morning, y'all. Yeah. Turn your radio on. You gotta turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. You gotta turn it on. Turn them up, Steve Harvey got to turn them out. Got to turn them up, Harvey turn them on in the morning, y'all. Come on, Steve. Come on, do your thing, Big Daddy.
I sure will. Good morning, everybody. You are listening to The Voice. Come on, dig me now. One and only, Steve Harvey. Got a radio show. Man, oh man, oh man. How good is God to me? And part of the mission and the reason that I have a radio show is to become a sharer, more and more of a sharer. You know, I used to hear my mother say it to me all the time, but God blesses you to become a blessing. And I think the more you understand that about yourself, I think the more blessings will flow your way. I think that once you understand the principle that, but it's kind of tied together with some other scriptures, and I'm not too knowledgeable about them, of course, as usual, but I do know what I've heard, and, if you look at something simple as do unto others as you would have them do unto you, wouldn't you want somebody to help you if you needed help? I just know how to get it down there to where I've been able to understand it. If there's a scripture similar that it says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or if that's, in a prayer, would not you want somebody to help you if you needed help? You've heard you reap what you sow. Do you understand that if you sow discord, that discord is going to come your way? That if you hate gonna come your way. If you blog nothing but negative comments about people, your life will be filled with negativity. If all you do is talk about people, then guess what? Somebody got to turn that gun around and talk about you. See, it just stands to reason. So what I've learned in my life and through all the trials and tribulations that I've had is to take those lessons and share them with people in case you ain't heard it from somebody else. See, sometimes, and the reason it seems like I'm redundant at times, is which I am, is because I'm always trying to find a different way to say the same thing. Because it's a funny thing, man. You got to hear it a certain way for it to click with you. How many times have I heard a saying and then I heard it a different way that it clicked with me? I've heard this saying right here. Remember this now. Everybody's not happy for you. We've all heard that, right? Everybody's not happy for you. Well, that's very simple. That don't need no explanation. That simply means of all the people you know or do not know, when something happens to you and you celebrating it, everybody not going to join in on the celebration. That's all that is. But then you take it one step further. My father used to say something to me all the time. He said, son, everybody come with you, can't go with you. I didn't get that when I was 15. Everybody come with you, can't go with you. He said, you're going to lose some of these friends you got along the way. But I don't care where you get in life. Know this right here. Everybody can't go with you. If you are constantly trying to improve yourself, you constantly have to take assessment of the people around you. Because if you are going to continue to go and continue to grow, then guess what? You got to have people that's on the go and willing to grow. Or else, guess what? You're going to learn a valuable lesson. You know, the late boxing promoter, Butch Lewis. I was talking with Butch Lewis one time, and man, what a good brother, man. He said every successful man is doing what I call, he got rope work to do. He got rope work to do. He got to put in work on rope. And I'm sitting there listening to Butch Lewis and all the money he had made and all the people's lives he had changed and all of the moves he was making and his incredible skills as a negotiator on behalf of some very, very wealthy people. He was just an amazing man with no education, but he read everything. Butch Lewis read all the papers, all the periodicals. That brother knew everything. He said, you got to put in rope. And I was sitting there listening. He said, here's the analogy, little brother. He said, you are on rope. There's a thick rope. You have on no shirt. You have on some tattered clothes. You have on no shoes. Your shorts is cut off just below the knee and they tattered. You got dirt on you and you're sweating. There's this huge, huge raw rope over your shoulder. There's burn marks on all of your shoulder. Connected to that rope is a wagon. That wagon has all your weight on it, all your responsibilities, all the people you're responsible for, all your children, your wife, your family members, your employees, your co-workers, your friends. They all on that wagon, man. They just sitting there. He's saying what you got to do is you got to pull that wagon up the hill. Now, only thing with it is can't nobody help you pull your wagon. You pull your wagon alone. He said, now, what you can do along the way of pulling your wagon is you can find yourself a good wife, a good woman. He said, now what that woman does is she get down off the wagon. She fan you while you pull it. She put water on you while you pull it. She put stuff in your mouth while you pull it. She kick rocks out the way while you pull it. But she pulling for you. But she is equally as important as you are on the pull of the rope. He said, you hear me clearly now, young soldier. He said, nah, get this here. He said, it's people on your wagon that you're responsible for. But you want the people on your wagon to help you get your wagon to the top. So what you hope is that they got their foot hanging over the side, pushing. They got one leg over the back, or maybe both legs over the back, pushing. They might have their butt on the wagon, but they push you with both legs. They back facing your back. Maybe some of them facing you, but one of them got left leg hanging over trying to push. And you hope that all them people on the wagon you pulling is back there at least trying to help the wagon get to the top of the hill. Here go your problem though. Everybody ain't pushing. Everybody ain't pulling. Everybody ain't kicking rocks out the way. You got some people on your wagon that's just laying on the wagon, drinking lemonade, looking at you, talking about how long it's taking you to get your wagon up to the top, looking at you, talking about why this wagon's so slow. Then when you start picking up speed, they want you to pull harder, you to pull faster, you to pull more. Then they want you to throw what you done earned on the way up the hill back on the wagon so they can have more. But guess what? They ain't helping you get more. But they got a sense of entitlement that since you got more, they should have more. Everybody come with you, can't go with you. Sometimes you got to kick the people off the wagon that ain't pushing and pulling and say, hey, man, I'm sorry. I thought I could do this with you, and I thought you was going with me, but it's clear to me you ain't nothing but dead weight, and it ain't my responsibility to carry dead weight anymore. I have carried you as long as I have to carry you. You are no longer my responsibility. I'm responsible for my family, my wife, my children. I'm not responsible for you. You got to get off my wagon because I'm a man on rope. I'm on a mission, baby. I'm pulling.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, your undivided attention. Steve Harvey Morning Show about to kick off. And today's show is dedicated to that person of most importance. And we all have them in our lives. Today's show is dedicated to the people who come and tell you they have a hard out. Anybody who comes to you and tells you, listen, this has to be finished at this time, this show is dedicated to people with what's called in our business a hard out.
Hard out.
You know how many times I've been on my show, man, and some guest of little importance comes in and wants the whole show to be wrapped around because they have a hard out. Do you know how many times I've had that on my show?
Oh, I'm sure.
Y'all have
Every
no
day?
idea.
I'm sure.
Oh, dog, the people that have come on my set and went, excuse me, and it's usually the publicist, usually not even that person. They have a hard out. I'll be going, really?
Hard
Let's
out.
stop that. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Harvey Morning Show has a hard end. We're on right now, Shirley Strawberry.
Hey, good morning, Steve.
Carla Farrell.
Good morning. What's up, crew?
I'm going to say good morning to somebody I never say good morning to, but I want y'all to hear her voice. Monica Barnes, good morning.
Hey, boss.
Hey, Mouse.
Just thought y'all would want to hear what I have to hear every morning. Junior.
Morning, Unc. Morning, everybody.
Nephew Tommy.
Top, baby. Thursday morning, Uncle Steve. That's what it is.
Yeah, it
love
is. It is. Boy,
day.
what
going
an
on?
interesting
What's
day
happening, man?
yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot
yeah. You
going
talking
on.
about that verdict?
Well, the verdict, the president,
punishment.
Oh, yeah.
the dude.
I mean, not the verdict. Yeah, the sentence.
The sentencing.
The sentencing, the punishment. And you're talking about the president going off, tweeting
Oh,
this
man,
some
this
bull.
dude right here.
I should have the right to
Is he losing it, y'all?
Oh, yeah, he losing
Yeah.
I ain't watching. Is he losing?
Yeah. No, lost
He
it.
going
Done
off.
lost it.
Yeah.
But you know, man, it's just I can't even believe what they're doing. But
know.
then I can.
But then you can. Exactly, Steve.
But it is the most blatant show of here's what throws me about the Republican Party. Their beloved Constitution that their beloved forefathers wrote, that they hang on their walls and they put it in your face when it comes to anything at all. If it comes to freedom of speech, if it comes to the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, they weigh that Constitution. But when one of them violates the Constitution, they stop waving it.
They put it right down.
They set it down, act like they ain't never read it. Donald Trump don't give a damn what's in that Constitution. He do what he want to do.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey Morning Show will address it all today. What you got, Shirley?
Well, Bernie Sanders, too, is a little,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, but we'll be back with more of the Steve Harvey Morning Show coming up at 32 after the hour. Talk about more political news and Bernie Sanders right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, so Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders has canceled all campaign appearances due to a health issue. Bernie, of course, Mr. Sanders, I should say, is 78 years old. He was hospitalized in Las Vegas last night after experiencing chest pains. Doctors discovered a blocked artery and inserted 2 stents. Bernie's campaign says he's resting comfortably now and is in good spirits. It has cleared his schedule until further notice. Wow. He's cleared his schedule now, so he needs some rest.
I
Yeah.
hope he's feeling good, man.
78, he is
Get
the
better.
oldest. Yeah.
He's 78.
Yeah, he has to,
Yeah.
he has to recover.
Yeah, he really does.
Heal and get well.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
care
it's
of
going to take a minute, man. I wish him well, though. I really do.
And campaigning
Nice
is hard. I mean, this is not easy.
man,
Okay, and you
the
got to
road life.
Yeah, they've been doing this for, it's going to be over a year when it's all said and done, you know.
Yeah.
And he did it before.
And he did it
last
before,
election.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You got to be in some shape, don't you? You need to be fit, huh?
yeah.
Well, it's mentally grinding.
You got to, same questions. You got to
Yeah.
speak to crowds of people. You got to do interviews. You got to debate.
It's
you got to
mentally
raise
grinding.
money. Yeah.
And it's stressful. It's stressful.
Yeah, very much so.
Now, if you're having trouble getting in and out the car, then your ass don't need to be president. That ain't the stress we talking about.
Mm-hmm. You rocking in the presidential
That's
limo.
your damn problem.
Rocking your way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get up.
That's you hear them old people know.
One more
Here
time.
we go. Mr. President, get out the car. We're here. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, Steve.
That's a bit
That
much.
visual right there.
Hold my coat. Give me your hand. Boy, let my arm go. This is what you don't want to hear from me.
Yeah. Who has the presidential inhaler?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, who has the presidential inhaler?
Yeah, but we wish him the best. A speedy recovery for Bernie Sanders.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mr. President, do you have your nitrogen pill?
Wow.
All right, go out there and get them, Tiger. Hey, remember, 6 minutes, I'll throw another one. Catch it with your mouth.
Oh, no. All right,
Just
we're
got the
moving on.
president up there like he a seal.
Trying to catch his meds. In other political news, guys, President Trump accuses the Democrats of wasting everyone's time and energy on BS. Yeah, he said it.
Well, but he said it.
He cussing
He
up there
tweeted
now?
it.
Tommy, this dude.
You
Yeah.
don't care. Say it again. What did he do? What did he do with the girl?
Come on.
What girl?
Stormy. Stormy Daniels. Paid
We
her
have a
off.
soundbite, too, from
Yeah.
his press
Oh,
conference.
oh, he did all that, dog.
Yeah. So cussing ain't nothing.
What cussing?
But he's the president. Come on. now.
But Shirley, did you see what he was talking about Pompey versus Adam Schiff and how qualified Pompey was? And then he said Adam Schiff couldn't carry his blank strap. And, you know, I don't want to use the word because they'll think I'm so awful. But he couldn't carry his blank strap. And you know what I mean. Dog, if you going to type out the whole word BS,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say jockstrap.
Yeah.
I really do, dog. You got the dumbest way of deciding what's fair and what ain't, what's best and what's not. That's why, man, when you get a person that's never been poor, that's never served people, that's never had to care for anyone, he can't govern a nation of people who need things. He can't.
Nope. Also,
Because if you need anything, you cannot expect to get it from a person who's never needed nothing.
he doesn't understand that kind of need. Also, Steve, during yesterday's press conference, take a listen when journalist Jeff Majors asked the president, what does he want Ukraine's President Zelensky to do about issues with Joe Biden and his son Hunter? Take a listen.
We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked you, which
Did
was,
you hear
what
me?
did you want
Did
him
you hear
to
me?
Yes,
Ask
sir.
him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
No, sir, I don't want to be rude. I just wanted you to have a chance to answer the question that I asked
I've
you.
answered everything. It's a whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the fake news media that we have in this country. And I say in many cases, the corrupt media, because you're corrupt. Much of the media in this country is not just fake, it's corrupt. And you have some very fine people, too. Great journalists, great reporters. But to a large extent, it's corrupt and it's fake. Ask the president of Finland a question, please.
Now I want that rat to run out right now.
So now you're
But
going
see-
to tell me
can't
how to
keep
do
talking
my
to me
job.
like that.
You're going to tell me
see,
how to do my job.
here's a problem when this president keeps talking about something is fake and something is corrupt. And you can put that up in the same sentences as the same time when he said he's coming to D.C. to drain the swamp. Well, he drained the swamp. He filled it with all new creatures. He has the most corrupt administration in the history of this government. More people that work for him are doing time, have had positions with him who are now doing time.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah. Right now.
And some now are facing time.
Yeah.
So when you talk about corrupt, this has a lot of nerve. The sad part about all of this is that the staunch Republican, the Donald Trump supporter, doesn't care what he does. And I just ask people, I wanted this. This is the President of the United States. Would any of you want your son to to grow up to be like him?
No. Easy.
He's a bully.
This dude, man.
Yeah. Call Michael Cohen. Call his lawyer. He ain't nothing there. Call him.
Did you all see the meme that was going around? Did you send it to somebody? Sent it. President Trump wanted to know who the whistleblower was.
Oh, I sent y'all that yesterday.
And it turned out to be Melania Trump, the first lady.
Wow.
I know. All right, coming up next, it is the Nephew with Run That Prank, back right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Hey, listen up, everybody. It's Junior, and I know you've heard me talking about the General Insurance. The General has affordable auto insurance at great low rates. When you choose the General, you get low monthly payments, a low down payment, and your choice of payment due date. Plus, the General offers the right level of coverage to suit your needs, whether that means liability or full coverage. Call 800-GENERAL or visit thegeneral.com to find out more. Some restrictions apply.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
Coming up at the top of the hour in entertainment news, a judge denies bail for R. Kelly and sets a date for his federal trial. Beyonce and Solange's father, Matthew Knowles, has breast cancer. We'll talk about all of that at the top of the hour. Right now, though, the Nephew in the building with Run That Prank Back. What you got for us, Nav?
High school reunion, Shirley.
Okay.
High school reunion. Let's go. Everybody, get together. Let's go. Let's go see all our friends back in the day when you graduated. I was class in 1985. Let's go. Yeah.
Hello? Hello, I'm trying to reach Sylvia, please. She's not available. This is her husband, Andre. How can I help you? Andre, how you doing, man? My name is Ken. I graduated with Sylvia. We're having a big 25-year class reunion this year. Okay. For 1985. Will she be home soon? I don't know, man. She actually out shopping right now. Okay, cool. Well, hey, listen, does she know about the reunion, or do you know anything about that? Not to my knowledge. It's the first I ever heard about a reunion. Okay. Well, there is a reunion, man. She's actually, I think, signed up for it. I'm not sure. That's why I asked you. But I think I saw her name that she was signed up to come. Okay. Let me ask you this. When exactly did you graduate? I graduated in 82. Okay, in 82. Okay, you a little bit before us then. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, let me go ahead and say this, Andre. Actually, in high school, man, Sylvia was my high school sweetheart, and we dated from 9th grade to freshman year in college. And I wanted to see if it was cool with you, if you didn't mind me escorting her to the 25-year class reunion. Doing what? Well, let me say that again. Like I say, man, my name is Ken. Ken. I got that part. I'm trying to make sure I heard right what you said. Yeah, I said that Sylvia and I were high school sweethearts, man. I was, from 9th grade all the way to freshman year in college. We dated each other. Okay, and, I got that. But what did you ask me? I asked you if it was all right if you didn't mind if I escorted her to the 25-year class reunion. Are you related to her? No, no, I'm not related to her. I just told you I was her high school sweetheart. No, man, I'm saying nobody gonna be escorting my wife nowhere. I put the ring on her finger. You said you was her high school sweetheart? Yeah, we was together from 9th grade all the way to freshman year in college. So okay. That was in the past, brother. I'm sorry to let you know that, but that was in the past. I'm the present, so I don't even much think she's gonna be interested in trying to go nowhere with you anyway. Hey, man, what I'm trying to explain to you, this is something innocent, though, man. This is just me taking her to, I thought she might get a kick out of us going together, Well, I don't know what's wrong with you. I done told you, if it's not going to one ear, put the phone on the other one. She ain't going nowhere with you. Do I need to break it down anymore? Hey, man, you ain't got to talk to me and disrespect me like this, man. Now, all I tried to do was call... Whoa. You talking about I'm disrespecting you? You gonna call my... to tell me I'm disrespecting you. You asking me, can you take my wife to the damn class reunion and expect me to be okay with that? What kind of damn fool is that to call somebody and ask, can you take their wife to a class reunion? Hey, man, that was my high school sweetheart, all right? We had something. I was her first, okay? I was her first, dog. If you was the first, then I'm the last, and I'm the only one, so we're going to leave it at that. How about that, partner? It's whatever, man. You know what, man? I try to call you and talk to you like a man, but you know what I should have did? I should have called me and talked to me like a man. You were doing a little stuff, man. I should have called Sylvia in the first. I should have never called. Matter of fact, you know what? I apologize for calling. Let me get on the phone and just call Sylvia and see if she don't mind with me. You go right ahead and do that. You go right Carla. Well, that's what I'm going to do, because Sylvia can make the decision on what Sylvia want to do. I can tell you one thing. Sylvia do what Sylvia want to do, but Sylvia ain't interested in you. Man, this is not about being interested in me, man. This is innocent. This is just me and her going to the damn class reunion together, man. It ain't like we finna go do something together, man, on a physical level. We just going to have fun. I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to tell you, I already told you no, okay? If you can't get no, then I don't know what you can't get, but you ain't getting Sylvia, I tell you that much. She's not going to no reunion. You know what, man? I'm through talking to you. I'm just going to call Sylvia, because that's what I should have done in the first place. I should have called. Listen, I told you, but you ain't finna call nobody. You better not dial my wife's number, man. I'm telling you this right now. I'll be at that class reunion. I'll be looking for your king, whatever your name is. I'm going to find out who you are. I ain't playing no like this. I done told you. You are disrespectful in the first place. I done told your don't call my wife. She ain't going to no reunion, so you bet not call her phone. I've been married for 12 years. Ain't no she don't want to go. Walk up in this and of my situation. Now I done told you I will come to this class reunion and I will your up, man, because you look like you're playing with me or acting stupid or something. You ain't taking my wife to no class reunion. You understand what I'm saying? Your wife don't want to go to the reunion with me. How you know that? She ain't going nowhere with you. I done told you, man, don't get me acting crazy up in here. I done told you. Now I said first I won't come to the class reunion, but I will come to that just to make sure I knock your lights out. Don't be acting stupid like I can't find. They got all kind of they ain't found on some of Bin Laden, but I'll find your. This is innocent, man. Me and her going to the reunion is innocent, and she ought to be able to decide if she want to go with me or not. Ain't nothing innocent about you. Your sounds trite anyway. Calling somebody phone, talking about a class reunion I ain't even much heard about. Hey, man, I tell you what. You know what? I'm finna get our phone call Sylvia. Okay. Respect the ring. You understand what I'm saying to you? I done told her she mad, but I don't understand what you can't understand about that. Respect the ring. Hey man, I got one more thing I need to say to you, man. You ain't got to say to me, man. You ain't got a thing to say to me except to hear this click in your ear right now. I got one more damn thing to say to you, and then I'm gonna get off the phone. I'm gonna be through with it, man. What the you got to say to me? Say what? What the you got to say to me before I hang up this phone? I got this to say to you. This is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Your wife Sylvia got me to prank phone call you. Are you for real? I'm serious, man. I'm serious. Oh man, I'm over here sweating and everything, man. Just mad. No, this is a joke, dog. You all right? I'm gonna be all right in about an hour or two. That's okay. That's cool. All right. Y'all got me. Well, I guess this is a good time to tell you the class reunion is coming up. I guess ain't no class reunion, huh? No, there is a class reunion. You need to get ready because you're going. Yeah, I'll be making sure if there is one, I'll definitely be there. Oh, man.
There it is. High school reunion.
Play too much.
All right, play a little too much. I'm in Salisbury, Maryland this weekend. That's Saturday night at the Wacomico Civic Center. And laying in the cut is Chuckles in Jackson, Mississippi, brand new comedy club. I'm there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next week, 11, 12, and 13. All right? Can I say it like that?
You did.
All right.
That's it. You there.
All right. Take it away, Shirley.
All right. Thank you, Nephew. Coming up at the top of the hour, entertainment and national news right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
In today's entertainment news, U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly denied bail for R. Kelly, citing risk of flight history of alleged obstruction. Wait. Oh, I see.
Wait, they really think R. Kelly will run?
Yeah, they said citing risk of he might fly,
Yeah, he got a song called
Get Out. Yeah, I can believe I can fly.
Before he tried to go overseas to tour, so that's why they cited that. Yeah. When he tried to do that. So they're like, no, you're trying to still do concerts and stuff. So that's why they're saying a flight risk.
Yeah. And, so Robert's home detention request was denied, okay? The judge also set a trial date for the R. Kelly trial in regard to the 5 federal charges he faces for racketeering and sex trafficking crimes, alleging he abused women and girls for 2 decades, from 1998 to 2018 in 3 different states. That's Minnesota, Illinois, and New York. His trial date is set for May 18th of next year.
Oh, God, that's my birthday. Oh, hell no, we got to move that. He got to get off my damn birthday. He can't be May 18th.
Damn, dog, that's what your birthday finna be?
It's all about him, you know
so
that.
So whoa, Shirley.
Yeah.
His trial is next May?
Yeah. Yep.
So he gonna be there the whole time?
Sounds like it. She denied bail this time.
I mean, but think about it. He's charged with crimes for abusing women for 2 decades, women and girls, from 1998 to 2018. Yeah,
and he's
in 3
begging for
different
conjugal
states.
visits right now. That's what he's begging for.
So, I mean, May 18th,
Stop saying that. We're going to move that. I'm going to talk to the judge. We're moving that.
Her name is Ann Donnelly.
Next year, Robert gonna lose so much weight in here. He gonna get to court. We're not gonna recognize his ass. Is that Robert?
That's all really. All really. What's wrong with you?
Wow.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah.
Man. So his trial won't even start until May.
That's
18th.
The date. May 18th, 2020. Election year next year.
So wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you got to, but look what he's charged
minimum
with.
Till the trial starts.
Yeah, again.
No bail.
Yeah,
two decades.
And then it's confusing. So are they going to transport him with all these different state charges and trial? This is, woo.
He may be going on a prison tour, probably like a little tour.
Like, what's it going to be? One place, one state, and then they're going to do all of it there? That's wow.
All right, in other entertainment news, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and no one is more aware than Beyonce and Solange's father, 67-year-old Matthew Knowles. He's been diagnosed with breast cancer. Matthew revealed during an interview with Michael Strahan on GMA, Good Morning America, his personal battle with breast cancer. He also has a history of women in his family having breast cancer, and he said more men speak out about breast cancer and don't feel embarrassed. You should speak out.
You got to speak on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
It's a health concern.
Especially black men from the ages of, I think it's 60 to 70 years old. Really,
What's wrong, man?
I got enough to worry about.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on right now.
We're praying for the daddy.
Yeah,
that's for
man.
sure.
Yeah, prayer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hometown,
Chronic
man.
disease age. Man,
Yeah. Also, in related news, don't forget Carla, very own Carla, will be in Chicago this coming Saturday for the 3rd annual Sister Strut Breast Cancer Walk.
That's right,
that.
with V103.
Yep.
Yep. So go to V103.com and get more information.
Okay. All right. All right, Steve, time now for today's headlines.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ann Tripp.
Thank you very much, everybody, and good morning. This is Ann Tripp with the news. Well, Dallas's black community digesting the bittersweet end of the Amber Guyger case this morning. After deliberating for only 90 minutes on Monday, the jury found the now fired white Dallas cop guilty of murdering her black upstairs neighbor. Murder, not the lesser charge of manslaughter. And attorney Benjamin Crump reminded folks then just who the innocent victim, Botham Jean, was.
Botham was the best that we had to offer. 26-year-old, college-educated black man, certified public accountant, working for one of the big 3 accounting firms in the world, PricewaterhouseCoopers. This verdict is for Trayvon Martin. It's for Michael Brown. It's for Sandra Bland.
However, Judge Tammy Ken announced the jury's decision about the sentence yesterday, and it was much lighter than many had anticipated.
The jury find unanimously that the defendant did not cause the death of Botham Jean while under the immediate influence of sudden passion arising from an adequate cause, and assess the defendant's punishment at 10 years imprisonment in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. In addition, we assessed a fine of $0. and you will receive credit for any back time that you have.
Now, so many people took to the streets last night to protest that 10-year term. The reason, well, because before the jury decided on the sentence, the prosecutor showed them some of Guyger's racist and violent posts. Over the defense's objection, the jury was shown how she answered a friend's remark about the Martin Luther King Jr. parade one day and how long it would go on. Guyger answers, well, until MLK is dead. Oh, wait. Like in a joke. Then she adds, just push them or pepper spray them in their direction. In other words, to disperse the black crowd. Another text suggests that she adopted German Shepherd, although it may be racist. Guyger says, oh, that's okay. I'm the same. I hate everything and everyone but y'all. One Pinterest reads, I wear all black to remind you not to mess with me because I'm already dressed for your funeral. Another one reads, people are so ungrateful. No one ever thanks me for having the patience not to kill them. Again, after seeing all of that, the jury gave Guyger only 10 years. She's reportedly eligible for parole in 5. By the way, Amber Guyger is the first female member of the Dallas PD to be found guilty of murder. The last time a jury convicted any Dallas cop of murder was in the 70s. But in the last 3 years, 4 Dallas County officers have been indicted for murder, and Guyger is the third to be convicted. The Democratic presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders said to be resting comfortably after undergoing a procedure to address a blocked artery yesterday. Today is National Make That Big Announcement Day. Whatever it is. Now back to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
In the all-new season of Ready to Love, we've heard of that show on the OWN network. Our very own nephew is the host. And the journey for love is just beginning. Take a listen when Tommy asks the singles, what is the problem with dating in Atlanta? Take a listen.
All right, let's get real. What's the problem out here? Women in Atlanta say the men, they just want to play the field.
Yeah?
But check it out now. The men in Atlanta say you ladies are more interested in the size of their wallet than the size of their heart.
All right, nephew.
They used to say that about the women in L.A.
On this show, huh? You really got sense.
Hey, this is gonna be a good season. Y'all got to tune in.
Yeah.
You got 10 ladies, 10 men. They come together. 20 singles trying to find love, man. And this is a roller coaster. And the best thing we did this season, we didn't take the same route as the first season. So you're not over there expecting, or you think you know what's about to happen. So we got curveballs every week. We got curveballs, baby. So tune in on 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, man. Check out your boy. I promise you're going to love this. Ready to Love. This right here is season 2, baby.
Congratulations, Tommy. Now, do you guys
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you a question. Do you guys do follow-ups? If they get together, you find out how the relationship's going and...
Yeah, you follow up. I followed up with the young man that was sick, Alex. I followed up with him just to see how he was doing. From the last season, from season 1. And, man, that brother had to learn how to walk all over again.
Wow.
I mean, he's on a cane now, but he's getting stronger and stronger. But it was an uphill battle for this brother. I mean, he was in a coma for months, man.
Really you said he had flu on the brain or something?
They said brain flu. I've never heard that before in my life. So this was something so bizarre that it kind of just freaked everybody out. But much love to Alex. He's moving forward, trying to get back, man.
Please get this show there so my mama quit asking me about where's Tommy coming on TV. Want to keep talking about
Saturday night.
Saturday night, baby. And it's the couples that watch it too. Even singles watch it, but it's more couples watching it too because men are saying that's you act just like that, and the women doing it back to the men. So everybody get to tune in.
So if everybody was wondering why Tommy was, dieting and losing weight and everything, this is why. Ready to Love.
I'm trying to look decent, man.
Yeah, this Saturday, October 5th.
What'd you say, Uncle?
10 p.m. 9 Central.
He wanted me to be a fat host, so he said I was all right. That's what he said. Don't worry about it. Ain't nobody with you.
Viewership numbers not now one.
Ain't nobody tuning in to see how fat you is.
Tommy's skinny this year.
Ready to Love, hosted by our very own nephew Tommy. This Saturday, October 5th at
Ready
10
for
p.m.
Love ain't really ready for a meal.
Coming up at 34 after the hour, Amber Guyger is sentenced to 10 years for killing Botham Jean, and his brother forgives her. We'll talk about that right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, a Dallas jury sentenced Dallas police officer Amber Guyger to 10 years in prison for fatally shooting Botham Jean as he ate a bowl of ice cream in his own apartment. The state asked the jury to sentence Amber to 28 years. That was the age Botham Jean would have been this year. The 10-year sentence punishment was met with boos and jeers by a crowd gathered outside the courtroom. One woman said the sentence was a slap in the face. However, in a stunning moment, Botham Jean's brother, Brant Jean, told Amber Guyger on the stand inside the courtroom, "I forgive you and go to God." Take a listen.
I speak for myself. I forgive you, and I know if you go to God and ask him, he will forgive you. And I don't think anyone could say it. Again, I'm speaking for myself, not even bad for my family. But I love you just like anyone else. I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you, and I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do, and the best would be give your life to Christ. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please?
Wow. What
That's
an
a
outstanding
different kind of
young
human,
man.
man.
But they said the same thing about his brother. I mean, about both of them.
He was that kind of guy.
He
huh?
was just such a great guy.
When I watched this on television yesterday, it really choked me up, man, because I was feeling that young brother, man, because he has to live with this the rest of his life, and he chose not to make hate a part of the rest of his life.
Right.
That's a special person to be able to fix in your mind the correct way. Now, I don't know that about me. I don't know that about me. I don't know
that you would have been able to
no.
forgive
Oh,
her
absolutely
and say
not.
what he said.
Absolutely not. I don't know that I could have. I appreciated he made me pause and think, but I do not know if I could have done it exactly his way. I could have maybe done a version of it. I know for a fact we not hugging. I know.
But you did hear what he said, though, Steve.
No. I understand exactly what he said, and it was most powerful. I have a closing remark I'm going to do about that. I've been thinking about this, so I'm going to save my remarks.
Because he said that's what his late brother would have wanted, you know?
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Man.
That was stunning.
That was
big.
stunning.
That was.
So big. It was
That's a
so
whole nother
big.
level of being a human being. I don't know if I can reach that.
So let me ask, Uncle Steve, you probably know this. When they give you 10 years, this is not federal. What do you really get in all actuality?
3 to 1.
Well, she can be up for parole in 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, this was a jury sentence, though, right? The judge didn't do this, right?
Yeah, it was different. I didn't know juries could give out sentencing like that. I was kind of surprised to hear the jury did the actual sentencing.
Yeah, I
And they
remember
had
when Tommy asked that question yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were like,
thought they'd turn it over
we're
to
like
a
the
judge.
judge. Yeah, you
Yeah.
said who's going to
Right,
sentence
right.
her, but in this case, yeah, it was the jury. Wow. Wow. Well, God bless the Jean family.
Yeah.
Just God bless them. So you can post your comments on the Botham Jean story at Steve Harvey FM on Instagram or Facebook. Coming up next, we'll switch gears. And Nephew Tommy is here with a prank phone call for today. That's coming up right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Coming up at the top of the hour, right about 4 minutes after, it's my strawberry letter for today. Subject, I am not the one to play with. Okay? Right now, though, yeah, you heard me. I am not the one now to play with. Right now, though, the nephew is here with today's prank phone call. What do you have for us today, Neff?
Who's moving next door? Who moving next door?
Dwayne.
You know your neighbor.
Who moving next door?
Michelle.
Who moving next door? Let's go, cat dog.
Hello, I'm trying to reach Mr. Is it Dolphin? Dolan? Dolan. Mr. Dolan?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? My name is Clifford.
Yeah, what can I do for you, Mr.
You live at Cheshire Drive?
Why do you want to know that?
Well, actually, I'm at 1623. I actually bought the house that was for sale next door to you.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. But how did you get my number?
Well, actually, the realtor told me that he had your number because I said I wanted to reach out to the neighbors next door, and he told me that Mr. Dolan was actually the person next door, and he didn't think you would mind me actually getting the number.
Okay. Well, I'll talk with the realtor later. But what can I do for you, sir?
Well, what I wanted to know is, do you have any problems like living next door to black people?
I'm sorry. What did you just ask me?
I mean, like I said, I just bought the place next door, and I wanted to know, do you have any problems, living next door to black people?
No, sir. I have no problem. I'm assuming you're a black man, and I have no problem with that. I judge people by their actions, not their color.
Okay. Now, do you have any black people experience?
Well, yeah, I've worked with, gone to school with, have several friends of many different ethnicities. But what is it? What's this? How is this relative?
Well, like I say, I'm gonna be living next to you, and I'm just making sure that you and I can coincide or coexist rather on the same block and not really have a problem with one another. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, do you have a problem with white people?
No, I don't have a problem with white people. I'm cool. I'm just trying to make sure, because me and you already have a bit of a problem already,
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we have a problem. I'm
bothering me while I'm at work. What's your problem?
Okay, well, my problem is that, after purchasing the property, I went downtown to the city and actually looked at, the layout of this entire property. And when I look at it, you actually 25, close to 30 feet over the property line.
Well, no, you're looking at the wrong map.
No. The fence that separates my backyard from your backyard, you are 30 feet over that.
That's impossible. No.
Listen, and I know this. Now, let me. I'm gonna tell you how I look at. You got a jacuzzi in your backyard, right?
Oh, so you've been spying on me?
No, I haven't been spying on you, sir. I'm just telling you, close to that, not far from that fence line. Don't you have a jacuzzi there?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. Yes.
Okay. Now the pool is okay, but if I push that fence line back 30 and actually get the property that I'm supposed to have, I pretty much own your jacuzzi, your hot tub.
I see. Okay. Let me tell you something. I've been in that house for 10 years. We put that fence up when we moved in, and it was based on the property line that was set 10 years ago. I don't know what you're looking at, but my fence is not moving. My jacuzzi's not moving, and there's no changing that.
Okay. Well, let me. I'm glad you voiced what you wanted to voice. Now, you hear old Clifford out. Let me tell you something. Either we gonna take the fence line and move it where it's supposed to be, or we gonna put a gate between our 2 yards, and I'm gonna be able to come and get in this jacuzzi and pool whenever I want to.
All right, let's talk about this. First of all, there's not going to be any gate, okay? And as far as you just coming over and getting in the jacuzzi at will, I got a real problem with that. You've called me at work. I'm on the job, and I'm having to listen to this on a future neighbor who's making weird claims about how he owns part of my land. That.
I own the jacuzzi, sir.
No, you did not pay for that jacuzzi. You did not pay for that fence. You just showed up making you called me at work and then you hand me some story with no evidence. I'll go down to City Hall and look at those papers myself because I don't trust a word you're saying. I've been there for 10 years. I've had 10 other neighbors in that backyard. Y'all cycle through once a year, I swear, and I've never had any problems with them until you come along. This is some
Okay, well, I tell you what. Here's something you need to understand. You got a new black neighbor, and you got a new black neighbor that owns your jacuzzi because you're over the fence line, all right? And as soon as I move in, I'm coming and I'm getting in my jacuzzi.
You will, man. You know what I mean? No. Move into that I'm going to use the jacuzzi on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You get it on Tuesday, Thursday, and the weekend. That's it. Because part of this damn jacuzzi belongs to me. The jacuzzi is owned by a black man and a white man, and we're going to get along. Bottom line. Look here. Listen here, you. Who are you to dictate what days I get to use my jacuzzi? Because it's not just coming over to my jacuzzi. It's not just your jacuzzi. It's our jacuzzi because you built it. That's the only thing that makes it yours. It being on my part of the property helps make it mine. So therefore, we're going to share this damn jacuzzi, and we're going to try to get along. In my jacuzzi, I'm tossing your across the fence. I will be there Mondays, Wednesdays, and you ain't gonna be. I'll be standing at my jacuzzi with a shotgun. You take one step over to my property line. I swear, if I could jump through this phone, I'd wring your neck. You know who's gonna be in there with me? Who the gonna be in there? I'm gonna have Cunningham in the damn jacuzzi. Who? Cunningham. My coworker? What the? Hey, man, this is Nephew Tommy, man. Your boy Cunningham got me to prank phone call you. Payback's a We got you, man. We got you. You got me good. Hey, I got one more thing to ask you, man. What is the baddest, and I mean the baddest, radio show in the land? The Steve Harvey Radio Show.
It's the stupidity.
What is that?
I don't know.
TV show.
When I hear one, I just go crazy. When I hear a prank, I just go crazy.
You don't be worried at all. It's out everywhere.
Keep it stupid. Hey, listen, if you know what, let me do it a little different. Go to thomasmiles.com. Thomasmiles.com. You can see where
Who
I'm
is
going to be.
this talking now?
Oh, this is Thomas Miles. You can see where I'm going to be in Salisbury, Maryland, Mississippi, Chicago, Illinois, Columbia, South Carolina. Just go to thomasmiles.com and you can get, yes, sir.
Is Thomas Miles talking about people coming to see Nephew Tommy?
Yeah, I was helping him. I was helping promote. I was trying to help promote him.
That's that third person stuff.
Yeah.
I was just trying to help with the confusion that might hit the
I know.
audience.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I was trying to help Tommy out.
Trying to get
So,
clarity.
You're
so
so helpful,
Thomas
Steve.
Miles is helping Nephew Tommy sell the show. Just want everybody to know that.
Yeah. So listen,
Okay,
go to
cool.
thomasmiles.com. You'll catch me in Salisbury, Maryland, Mississippi, Chicago, as well as Columbia, South Carolina. You can see
Thomas?
my dates there.
Thomas,
Now, I'm
can
gonna
I
turn
give
it
you a
back over.
tip?
I'm sorry, sir?
Thomas Miles, you can catch Nephew Tommy
That's
at
right.
Salisbury.
That's
Try it
right.
like
Thank you,
that.
sir. I appreciate that.
Try it like
hey,
that.
this is Thomas Miles. Well, let me tell you where Nephew Tommy's going to be. He's going to be in Salisbury, Maryland,
you
Mississippi, Chicago, as well
Leave
as
him alone,
Columbia, South
Shirley.
Carolina. Go to thomasmiles.com, and you can catch all the dates on where Nephew Tommy is going to be.
I don't like him.
That wasn't me.
That was me.
No, that's no. See, I did. Let all that go, Carla. That's
Why
how
y'all
it's
like
got to be.
Thomas? Y'all
It's
don't
got to
like
happen like that.
What? All right, President Trump. Listen, the strawberry letter is coming up. Subject, I am not the one to play with. We'll get into it right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Time now for today's strawberry letter. And if you need advice on relationships, dating, work, sex, parenting, and more, please submit your strawberry letter to Steve Harvey FM and click submit strawberry letter. All right, we could be reading your letter live on the air, just like we're going to read this one right here, right now.
Buckle up and hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is, the strawberry letter.
Thank you, nephew. Subject, I am not the one to play with. Dear Steve and Shirley, I am a 54-year-old black professional man who has been married for 25 years. I am 6'6" and 270 pounds, and I am not to be played with. But my wife seems to think she could play me and get away with it. We're in the middle of a divorce now because I found out that she was taking and sending nude pictures to an ex-boyfriend. I also found out that she'd been having an affair with the guy for almost a year. When I confronted her, she told me that she's been unhappy for a long time and she needs more. I filed for divorce immediately. But as I mentioned, I am not the one to be played with, so I went to visit the guy she was sleeping
What?
with. You
Hold
want me to read that line again?
No, Shirley. Just keep 6'6", 270 went to visit him.
He went to visit the guy. He went to visit the guy that she was sleeping with. I told him that I knew everything and that he could have my wife. This guy said that he's married and what he and my wife had was just a fling. He said he'd never leave his wife for her or anyone else. So I found his wife and I went to see her too.
God.
It was all in my plan to get revenge, but I didn't expect for his wife to be as fine and pretty as she is. I told her about my wife and her husband's affair, and she was not shocked or upset. She said she knows her husband is a cheater. She started flirting with me and eventually told me that she has needs of her own that are not being taken care of.
Where the hell is this going?
Well, I offered to help her with her needs, and she couldn't resist. So here we are, months later, and we both have admitted that we're falling for each other. There is nothing better than revenge. But I don't want my new woman to find out it was all a game in the beginning. Should I keep our affair a secret a little longer, or should I show my wife that two can play that game? Please advise, Steve.
Steve.
Uh-huh.
Please advise Steve.
Yeah,
I got you, player.
Thomas Steve.
Go ahead, Shirley. You ain't going to say nothing I'm going to say, so
I know
go ahead.
that's right. Well, I mean, this is just a big old nasty mess here. I didn't think apparently, I don't think.
See, right, excuse me, Shirley, not to interrupt you, but mine is not going to start off with this a big old nasty mess.
Okay.
Ain't how mine going to start.
Well, it is.
Shirley.
All right, thank you, sir. I just didn't think like everyone else that this letter was going to end up like this. I thought it was going to be some fighting, maybe something a little more serious than how this ended up. Now it seems like everyone is just one big happy family. You're with his wife, he's with your wife, except for your wife when she finds out, how her side piece, your girl's new girl's husband feels about her. She's not going to be too happy. It's going to be quite a blow to her ego and her self-esteem. You were pretty easy, huh? She was that fine and that pretty, huh? And it was an opportunity. So now you guys are involved in a relationship. So it looks like what? You guys are going to just do a trade-off thing? Her husband is going to have something to say about this because he's not interested in leaving his wife. He's just not. What is wrong?
Yeah, he ready for you to get to the bottom of yours.
Come on. Girl, come on. I got all these answers.
You guys do what you do. I mean, if that's what you think, revenge, this is all about revenge and everything. I mean, the thing for you to do if you really want to be with her, of course, is to go ahead with the divorce proceedings with your wife and to marry this woman if she divorces her husband. Other than that, you guys are all having affairs. Jesus. All right, Steve.
Cool. Thanks, Shirley. Shirley, listen, I want to compliment you and pay you compliment. You did a wonderful job. You did as best you could. That problem you have
with you
here,
huffing and puffing.
Well, Shirley, the problem you have with this letter is he says, Steve, please advise Steve. He knew. Shirley, he knew. You can't help him. Because you're not going to feel what he feels. And it's understandable. It's some letters, Shirley, where you take a woman's perspective and you touch on a lot of stuff I don't think of. Because you have an angle I don't have. So I respect that. This 54-year-old man, I'm not the one to get played with. This I open the damn letter with what this letter about. Been married 25 years, and here the facts. Before we get any other fact, I'm 54, been married 25 years. That's damn near half my life. But now hear what you need to know. I'm 6'6" and 270. And I am not to be played with. Clearly. But his wife seemed to think that, she could play with him and get away with it. We're in the middle of a divorce now because I found out that she was taking and sending nude pictures to an ex-boyfriend. I also found out that she'd been having an affair with the guy for almost a year. When I confronted her, she told me she'd been unhappy for a long-ass time and she needs more. I don't know how much more you need than 6'6", 270. What are you looking for? How much more is it? I certainly don't have more. At 6'2", 235, I don't have more. I promise you, Kia ain't got more.
All right,
and I
hang
know
on.
for sure little ass Tommy ain't got more.
Hang on, Steve.
I don't know what more you could possibly want. He's 6'6", 270.
Hang on. We'll have part 2 of your response coming up. Coming up at 23 after the hour. Subject of today's letter, I am not the one to play with. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Steve, come on. Let's recap today's Strawberry Letter.
Ain't no recap.
I am not the one to play with.
He ain't to be played with. 54, been married 25 years. He's 6'6", 270. He ain't to be played with. But his damn wife thinks she can play. So he found out she been taking pictures, sending it to this dude. Then found out that she been having an extramarital affair. She say, and when he confronted her about it, she say she need more. We left trying to figure out what more do you want? He's 6'6", 270.
Yes, he is.
What more?
Why are you yelling?
But obviously you want more. So then, but as I mentioned, I am not to be played with. So I went to visit the guy that she was sleeping with. Now this right here is where this letter starts to take a turn, where every man hearing this going, this ass whooping.
Yeah.
Because see, since you don't play with me, I want to pay him a visit to the guy she was sleeping with. Told him I knew everything and that he could have her. See, he don't want her no more. He through with her. You know, this ain't no left. You can have her. You know, I'm just letting you know this right here now. But now, let me show you what happened, though. He scared his punk ass so bad. When he said you could have her, first thing he said, I'm married. And this just, I wouldn't leave my wife for her or anybody. I don't want her. See, because if he'd have said you can have and he said thanks, he'd have knocked his ass into the middle of next week.
All 6'6",
All
270.
270. He'd have woke up in a coma, Shirley, if he'd have answered that question wrong. And you can have her. Thanks, man. Fuck.
I love your wife.
That would have been it. This guy said he's married and he and my wife were just a fling. He said he'd never leave his wife for her or anyone. So, 6'6", found his wife and went to see her too. Wow. It was all in my plan to get revenge. He was just going to tell it. But he didn't expect his wife to be as fine and as pretty as she is. I told her about my wife and her husband's affair. She wasn't shocked or upset. She said she knew her husband cheated. She started flirting with me and eventually told me that she got needs of her own that's not being taken of. Now, I know she got needs because her man ain't 6'6", 270. You're looking at all this beefcake in front of you. You start thinking, Lord, what is all this here? Merry Christmas to me. Oh, I got needs that can't get met, but I bet you can do something. Well, you know I offered to help her with her needs, and she couldn't resist. Boy, I know that's right.
That was easy.
So here we are months later, and we both have to admitted that we are falling for each other. Oh, this thing got good now. There's nothing better than revenge, but I don't want my new woman to find out it was all a game in the beginning. Should I keep our affair a secret a little longer, or should I show my wife that two can play this game? Please advise, Steve. Oh, you came to the right place, player. Boy, look at here. First of all, you do not tell her that it was all a game in the beginning. But what you do say is, when I came over there, it was about revenge for me. I just wanted him to feel hurt, and I wanted his marriage to be in pain the way mine had to go through it. But when I saw you, I said, wow, how could he do this to some woman like this? And then I found out you knew he was cheating on you, like all women do. And then you just said that you have needs and I got needs, and we began to share with one another. And so now, here we are, and we have this moment. So tell her that you came for revenge, but after you saw her, you could not imagine how he could do this to a woman like you. And so we started seeing each other, and what I found, you was everything I wanted. Cause that's why y'all falling for each other. In the words of an old friend of mine,
fair
exchange ain't no robbery. If you got my wife and I got your wife and both our wives is cool with being got, bam, gotcha.
Fair exchange, ain't no
right.
So now, here's what you do. Don't tell your wife nothing. Why you can't wait to rub this in her face? Let her get the divorce. Let her discover that the dude don't want her. But then, let me explain something to you. What you worried about? What he gonna do if you take his wife? What he finna do? You ain't to be played with. You're 6'6", 270. What his punk ass gonna do when he find out you got his wife?
NFL
You worried about what
left
your wife gonna do when you tell her you sleeping with his wife. What he gonna do? Not a damn thing. Y'all gonna live happily ever after and let church say amen. Amen.
Happily ever after.
That was only Tommy and Junior. Appreciate it, fella.
We with you. That felt like a bedtime story.
All right,
there.
listen. Post your thoughts on today's Strawberry Letter at Steve Harvey FM and check out the Strawberry Letter podcast, please, on demand. Now, coming up at 46 after the hour from the talk, it will be our girl, the one and only Sheryl Underwood, right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, come on now with me. Sheryl Underwood.
That's what I'm talking about, Steve Harvey. Let's get to it, baby. It's so much going on. Where y'all want to start? Wait a minute, hold on. Hi, Junior.
Hey, Sheryl, what's up, girl?
How you doing?
Oh, girl, I'm lovely.
But Junior, you keep playing back now. Just trying to tell you.
You're going to find yourself in something. Grown-ass woman.
It's going to be just like Boomerang with
Why
Eartha
am I
Kitt.
clutching my chest?
She said Lady Eloise.
Look at that Lady Eloise on them right there. Hey, Junior, if you're anywhere near West Palm Beach, Florida, October 11th and the 12th, I'll be at the West Palm Beach Improv. So come on over and kick it with your girl.
No, Tommy working that weekend.
Who's talking to Junior?
She talking to Junior, dog.
We at San Soul that weekend.
Yeah, Junior.
Oh, y'all gonna be at San Soul?
Yeah.
You kick it with all the dudes. Don't let me see you on no social media with no girl. Nothing
you got to
female.
watch what you're doing.
Nothing.
Man. You can't
That's
be taking
right.
no
You know
picture.
why? Why? Because I'm old and I have 3 credit cards. I will walk up on you. I got 3 clean credit cards. Play if you want to, because I'll be right down that Sandy. So they be, I thought you was working at the West Palm Beach Improv. Mike is handling the opening of the show. Mike Washington. I'll be back in time for the show. Did you rent a jet? Yes, I did. Hey, Junior. How you doing? Oh, hey, while we talking about Florida, wait a minute. Somewhere in here, can we talk about the Super Bowl halftime show?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, listen to me. I'm not mad at Jay-Z because we don't know if they talked to Jay-Z about booking Shakira's and what's the girl? J-Lo's and everything. I mean, you know, it's going to be hips flying all over the place. I just need to see some Trina, you know, some Trick Daddy, because Trick love the kids. I need to see some 2 Live Clues, some Flo Rida, then Gloria Estefan. I need to see everybody from Florida up on that stage. Yeah, some Pop That. Some pop that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I want to see some old school pop that. See, Carla,
Ross.
I didn't say it like I did last week. I didn't say nothing like I did last week. I need to have it happen. So, Florida, you know, y'all need Miami. Get it right now. Y'all need to have some Trick Daddy, some Trina. Matter of fact, we need to start calling people, tell them what we want to see. Now, back to the real problem we got. Can we get a new damn president and a new vice president?
Can we immediately?
Oh, man. I'm loving that Giuliani just stay out there talking, and the more he talks, the more people side with us on impeachment. It's going down. My girl Maxine Waters say, not just impeachment, need to go to jail. Solitary confinement. Then she almost slipped up and said, and let R. Kelly out. I was like, ooh, you went too far.
No.
You just went too far. Went too far. Went too far. We ain't trading for that one.
All right, Sheryl.
Bye, Junior.
Yeah.
Make sure while y'all down in San Antonio, Shirley, I'll give you $20. Keep an eye on Junior and them scallywags. Listen to me. I ain't playing, Junior. You don't want me to walk up on you. I'm hard. Now.
I'm hard.
All right, thank you, Sheryl. Appreciate it. Coming
Bye,
up at the
Junior.
top of the hour, Carla's reality update right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, Tommy, let's go.
Let's go. It's that time. Get ready, get ready, get ready. She is here. Carla Farrell with what? Reality Update.
All right, thank you, nephew. Here we go. Let's talk about basketball wives. We're going to switch it up a little bit. Yeah. So, on Basketball Wives, Shawnee invited the girls on a trip. Here we go, Steve. To Costa Rica because she needed to do a site check on a real estate opportunity, and it's, she might have a possibility of owning a resort. So she invited the girls to come on down. Anyway, you know how we do it, girls trip, drama. So first, some of the women in Byron Scott's family are having issues. Byron Scott's daughter-in-law, Kristen, and his fiance are beefing. And, Kristen, she kind of started a lot of the drama last season. And then, she said that Byron Scott is not being a good grandfather. So, that was a lot of drama between Byron and
Who the
his
hell
son.
ain't a good grandfather?
Yeah, right.
Now, how the hell do
That's
you
when
not
you turn
be
it
a good
around, right?
grandfather? You need to, where the baby daddy at?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, that's her
Steve,
husband.
right.
Yeah, so it was just a lot of drama there, Steve. So Cece, who is Byron's fiance, she just got sick of the drama. And so my girl, she is she was like a doormat during the season. She just let people say whatever. Well, honey, she got fed up in Costa Rica and she started checking them all. So it was Team CC, your girl OG, Jackie Chrissy. She's on another
Jackie.
side of
I love
crazy.
Jackie.
Yeah, I love Jackie.
She's my favorite. I wouldn't watch it
yes.
if she wasn't on.
Doug found you a real one.
Yeah.
You don't need a security.
His wife, Jackie
His wife
Christie.
got all that.
Yeah.
She's so crazy.
Right. So anyway, Shawnee, Evelyn, Kristen, Malaysia, Phoebe, it was just all of this arguing back and forth. So then Shawnee decides to throw this pool party, and then Cece, she got sick of arguing with her future daughter-in-law, so she tried to leave the pool party. Guess who took off running from behind to get after Cece? Down the ramp at the resort.
Don't tell me.
Was this a grown
Lozada.
woman?
Oh, come
Yes.
on, Evelyn.
Oh, okay.
Evelyn.
Then it wasn't.
Yeah,
Evelyn?
Yes, I was so mad at her. She took off running with like a bamboo or some kind of plant leaf in her hand, but
Yeah,
she was
that'll
trying
do it.
to, I don't know what she was trying to do, but she
Knees
kind of
hurt.
ran up on Cece from behind, and OG don't play, so her and Cece are real
Evelyn
cool.
back
So
at
she,
it, huh?
yeah, and she fell. Evelyn bust
What?
her behind.
What?
Yes, she fell trying to get after this girl. It was just really, really ugly. You want to think that this behavior it was in the past and just stop all this fighting and arguing. It was just really, really messy. So word has it too on social media, Steve, that Byron Scott is not happy with Shawnee and that he's been watching the show, and he's on the show quite often. But he's been watching the show, and he does not like the way Shawnee is treating his fiance, Cece. So there's some issues
Byron
Oh,
there.
Scott's
But
fiance is on the show.
yes, Cece, that's the one who Evelyn ran up on. Yeah.
Well,
It's
you got
just-
to, dog, if you're going to take the check, you got to take the mess.
Yeah, and that's reality
Yeah,
TV.
the mess
You
come with the
said a
check,
mouthful.
partner.
Yeah. They not
Yeah.
doing
Check
Kumbaya.
comes because of the mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
Shawnee ain't who you
Yeah.
want in this case right here, partner. Your check will be short. Yeah, but they not ready to love.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
And then
Tommy, you need to bring all of them on your show.
so they can be ready to love and stop all this arguing and hating. That's right, Steve. And then there's some mess last night on the show with OG. I don't know. She's kind of like flirting with Evelyn's ex-husband, Chad Ochocinco, and it's just
Chad
messy,
Ocho
messy.
on the show?
But she's got a
he's not on the
fiance.
show. Yeah, but she kind of DM'd him on social media, and she brought all that mess back up. And Evelyn, it's just too much.
So
It's
I
just a
guess
lot
that's
going
Chad's
on.
fault, huh?
Basketball Wives. So we'll continue this conversation. You can hit me up at Lips by Carla on social media, and we'll talk about love and hip hop Hollywood too. The B2K drama with Lil Fizz and April and Omarion.
Oh my goodness.
Woo!
That's a
It
lot.
just never
That's a
ends.
lot.
We'll be
That's a
back
lot.
at 20 after.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Okay, so Steve, this woman who walked straight into the lion's den at the Bronx Zoo over the weekend and survived, I might add, was high. She was high when she.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This, according to the cops, they say they found video of her smoking right before the stunt. They've identified the woman. She jumped a fence, entered the lion's enclosure over the weekend. They say her social media shows her smoking something that looks like a weed right before walking into the zoo.
They just legalized weed in New York, didn't
they? They need to reverse it.
Okay, 2 questions.
Yes.
Was she white?
No, Steve. She was black.
She was black?
Yeah.
Oh, that's powerful.
Then this wasn't weed.
No,
this wasn't weed.
It's dipped in something.
There was some other stuff in there.
Wow.
Well,
Black people don't climb fences with lines with weed. That ain't what weed do. I know a lot of people smoke weed. Weed is not fence climbing dope. Weed is go, man, damn that fence high. That's weed.
Yeah.
So she stared down the lion in his enclosure. Then she did a few dance moves, and she was just a few feet away from the lion, Steve. You know, she was taunting him, but the lion, thank God, didn't bite. Yeah, he didn't bite.
She got lucky.
Yeah.
God took care of her.
A quick jerk at her, just one of them jerks.
Yeah.
Get your ass out.
God just took care of her.
Yeah, because he could have mauled the mess out of her.
But when she see this video, though,
when she sobers up.
Yeah.
All right, more.
Got to be bull. That's me.
More of the Steve Harvey Morning Show and some trending news coming up at 33 after the hour, right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Well, a Dallas jury sentenced Dallas police officer Amber Guyger to 10 years in prison for fatally shooting Botham Jean as he ate a bowl of ice cream in his own apartment. The state asked the jury to sentence Amber to 28 years. That was the age Botham Jean would have been this year. The 10-year sentence punishment was met with boos and jeers by a crowd gathered outside the courtroom. One woman said the sentence was a slap in the face. However, in a stunning moment, Botham Jean's brother, Brant Jean, told Amber Guyger on the stand inside the courtroom, "I forgive you and go to God." Take a listen.
To speak for myself, I forgive you, and I know if you go to God and ask him, he will forgive you. And I don't think anyone could say it. Again, I'm speaking for myself, not even bad for my family. But I love you just like anyone else. I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you, and I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do, and the best would be give your life to Christ. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please?
Wow. What
That's
an
a
outstanding
different kind of human,
young man.
man.
But they said the same thing about his brother. I mean, about both of them.
He was that kind of guy.
He
huh?
was just such a great guy.
When I watched this on television yesterday, it really choked me up, man, because I was feeling that young brother, man, because he has to live with this the rest of his life, and he chose not to make hate a part of the rest of his life.
Right.
That's a special person to be able to fix in your mind the correct way. Now, I don't know that about me. I don't know that about me. I don't know
that you would have been able to
no.
forgive
Oh,
her
absolutely
and say
not.
what he said.
Absolutely not. I don't know that I could have. I appreciated he made me pause and think, but I do not know if I could have done it exactly his way. I could have maybe done a version of it. I know for a fact we not hugging. I know.
But you did hear what he said, though, Steve.
No. I understand exactly what he said, and it was most powerful. I have a closing remark I'm going to do about that. I've been thinking about this, so I'm going to save my remarks.
Because he said that's what his late brother would have wanted, you know?
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Man.
Coming up next, we'll do our last break of the day. And then, of course, we will have some closing remarks from the one and only Steve Harvey right after this at 49 minutes after.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
All right, here we are, Steve, our last break of the day on this Thursday. It's been a good Thursday. A lot of things going on in the news, a lot of things.
Busy
Black
week.
people playing with lions. There's lots of that.
Yeah, that was crazy. No, that was really crazy.
Yeah,
But
like
to
they don't bite.
calm us all down, put everything all into perspective, and give us something to hope and dream for. It's Steve.
I don't know if that's what this is going to be today.
All right.
I really don't.
Okay.
Because I was
going another direction.
Well, my closing remarks today is going to be a commentary.
Okay.
I don't do commentary often. But today I wanted to talk about this brother by the name of Botham Jean, who was murdered by this police officer, Amber Guyger. And the reaction to Botham Jean's 18-year-old brother. I watched this young man at 18 years old talk about forgiveness, and then he begged this woman to hug him and asked the court, can I please hug her? Now, let me tell you something. I was choked up when I watched this. I watched it yesterday on the news because as he was hugging her and asking the court to please allow him to hug her and saying that he didn't want her to even go to jail, and he was debating on whether he was going to say this in front of his family. I was imagining what this 18-year-old young man could have possibly been thinking. Now, I don't know exactly what he was thinking, but maybe he didn't want his big brother's memory to be that of hate. Maybe he didn't want that hate to be his own form of cancer. Maybe he knew that his brother has never hated anybody in his life, and he wasn't going to tie his memory by hating someone on his behalf. So this 18-year-old young man chose to forgive, because hating don't get his brother back. Hate don't honor or tell the story of who his brother was. And he said so in his commentary to the fact that this is not what his brother would have wanted, because he knew his brother intimately. It was his big brother. So he chose to forgive. I was amazed at this young man's strength. And because he even pleaded with the court to allow him to hug her. And as he hugged her, the bailiff went up on there and just looking at him. But you could look in the bailiff's face like, wow, he couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if people really understand what all and how many times people in this world have to forgive. Most people have had to forgive many times. Well, since this is a race issue, and for those of you who don't think that this is a race issue, is why we can't solve racism. Because there are those who won't even acknowledge racism even when it's blatant. So how do we solve something when people keep denying that it exists? This case was another case about racism. And since this is about race, let me say this first. I know for a fact that there are whites who have had to forgive some black person or some person of color. Of that, I am sure. That's got to be a fact. But we as black people have had to forgive at a disproportionate rate. That young man's mother said that she was grateful for the verdict, but the tactics used to try to clear this officer, these blatant race tactics, had to stop. She was talking about in Dallas, but it ain't just Dallas. It's nationwide. This case was just held in Dallas. So let's be real. We as black people, we have had to forgive so many times. For so many years. We've had to forgive. We've had to get over it. We've had to understand. We didn't had to just go deal with it. We've had to just let it go. We've had to just wait on it, wait and see. We've had to wait while everybody processes it. And here's my favorite one of all. We've had to be patient. Well, we tired. We've been tired. As a matter of fact, we sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you want to know the truth about it. Now look, I'm not going to do a list of injustices that's happened, but my closing remarks, we just don't have that much time. But just let me just say a couple things. Didn't a black woman get 5 years for registering her child at her daddy's address so the child could go to a better school? Yep. Didn't she get 5 years?
Yes, sir.
Didn't a black woman get 20 years for killing her husband who beat her?
Yes, sir.
But didn't Felicity Huffman, in the big college cheating scam of the year, she got 14 days.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks. A woman just wanted her child to get a better school. She got 5 years. It's 3,000 people in prison who got life with no parole for nonviolent crimes. 91% of them people is black. Here's a fact. If this young man who died was the police officer in this case, and the officer who was at home eating ice cream was a victim in her apartment 10 years, oh, you'd have had another zero on it and a very strong chance that he would die in prison.
Yeah.
Those are my closing remarks.
Woo.
Y'all have a great weekend.
For all Steve Harvey contests, no purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Participants must be legal U.S. residents at least 18 years old unless otherwise stated. For complete contest rules, visit steveharveyfm.com.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.